My abusive ex filed false police reports every time I tried to move on until I started dating a lawyer who documented everything. My name is Nathan Cross and I'm 29 years old. 3 years ago, I dated a woman named Kimberly Frost for 8 months. It was the worst 8 months of my life, but I didn't realize that until I tried to leave. She was charming at first, then possessive, then cruel. She tracked my phone, showed up at my workplace unannounced, interrogated me about every woman I spoke to. When I finally ended it, she cried and begged and promised to change. I held firm. 2 weeks later, I met someone else. Her name was Ashley, a graphic designer I'd connected with at a coffee shop. We went on 3 dates. On the 4th date, police showed up at the restaurant. They pulled me outside, put me in handcuffs in front of everyone, and arrested me for harassment. Kimberly had filed a report claiming I'd been sending her threatening messages, showing up at her apartment, refusing to leave her alone. She had screenshots, text messages from my number, photos of someone who looked like me outside her building, all fabricated but convincing enough that the police took her seriously. I spent the night in jail, got released the next morning when my lawyer showed the prosecutor that I'd been at work during the times Kimberly claimed I was stalking her. Security footage, time cards, witness statements from coworkers. The charges were dropped, but the damage was done. Ashley wanted nothing to do with me. Her exact words, "I can't date someone with this kind of drama." I don't blame her. Who wants to be with someone who gets arrested on the 4th date? I thought it was over. Thought Kimberly had made her point and would leave me alone. I was wrong. 4 months later, I started seeing someone new, Rachel, a nurse I met through friends. We'd been on 2 dates when the police showed up at my apartment at 6 in the morning. Different officers, same story. Kimberly had filed another report. This time, she claimed I'd assaulted her, said I'd grabbed her arm outside a grocery store, threatened her, left bruises. She had photos of bruises, a witness statement from someone who claimed to see me there. I hadn't been anywhere near that grocery store. I had an alibi. I'd been at a work conference 200 miles away. Hotel receipts, airplane tickets, dozens of witnesses. The charges were dropped again. Rachel found out. She didn't wait for explanations, just blocked my number and disappeared. I started to see the pattern. Every time I tried to move on, Kimberly found out and filed a report. Every time the allegations were just plausible enough to get me arrested. Every time I could prove my innocence, but only after spending a night in jail and losing whatever relationship I'd started building. I went to the police, explained the pattern, asked them to do something about Kimberly's false reports. The detective I spoke with, a man named Officer Warren, looked at me like I was wasting his time. "So your ex filed 2 complaints and both were unfounded. That doesn't mean she's lying. Maybe you're just lucky you had alibis, but she's making this up. She's trying to ruin my life. Do you have proof she's fabricating evidence? Do you have recordings of her admitting it? Witnesses who saw her create fake screenshots? No, of course not. Then there's nothing I can do. My advice? Stop dating for a while. Let things cool down. Maybe she'll move on." I took his advice. For a year, I didn't date anyone. Focused on work, on friends, on rebuilding my life. I'm a civil engineer and my firm was working on a major infrastructure project that kept me busy 60 hours a week. I buried myself in blueprints and calculations. Anything to avoid thinking about Kimberly and what she'd done to me. Then I met Claire at my best friend's wedding. Claire Donovan, an attorney who specialized in family law and civil litigation. She was sharp, confident, funny in a way that felt effortless. We talked for 3 hours at the reception. She gave me her card, called it networking, but her smile suggested otherwise. I wanted to ask her out, wanted it desperately, but I knew what would happen. Kimberly would find out somehow. She always did, and Claire would get pulled into the nightmare. So I didn't call. 3 weeks later, Claire called me. "I've been waiting for you to call," she said, starting to think maybe I misread the signals at the wedding. "You didn't misread anything. Then why haven't you called? It's complicated. Try me. I'm a lawyer. Complicated is my specialty." We met for coffee. I told her everything about Kimberly, about the false reports, about Ashley and Rachel, and the arrests that destroyed those relationships, about the year I'd spent alone because I was terrified of dragging someone else into Kimberly's vendetta. Claire listened without interrupting. When I finished, she was quiet for a long moment. Then she said, "That's called filing a false report. It's a crime. It's also harassment, stalking, and potentially defamation depending on what she's saying about you. Have you considered suing her? With what evidence? The reports were dropped. There's no proof she made them up. Actually, there is. The fact that you had ironclad alibis both times suggests a pattern of fabrication. But more importantly, if she's doing this, she's leaving a trail. People like this can't help themselves. They get sloppy, make mistakes. If we document everything, we can build a case." "We?" Claire smiled. "I'm interested in you, Nathan, and I don't scare easily. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to date. We're going to do it very publicly. We're going to wait for Kimberly to make her move. And when she does, we're going to be ready." It felt reckless, but Claire was confident in a way that made me believe it might work. So I said yes. That's when I made the biggest mistake of my life. Full story is linked below or on my channel.